Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Mohammed Ali Mir and I'm from the Office of Advancement at LUMS. Welcome to our podcast today where our topic for the day is the MS and PhD Computer Science program. I'm joined here today with Dr. Zafar Ayyub and Dr. Suleman Shahid. Dr. Zafar Ayyub is a assistant professor at the Computer Science Department and Dr. Suleman is a associate professor at the Computer Science Department. So, Assalamualaikum gentlemen.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much.
Let's have a very informative podcast. I'll start off with you, Dr. Zafar. Computer science is a very sought after field in Pakistan. There are a lot of universities in Pakistan which solely focus on this program. Given all of that, why should someone choose the Sayyid Babur Ali School of Science and Engineering for this program?
Ali, that's a great question. I think our CS program has many strengths. Number one, I think that for any program, the most important ingredient is its faculty. And we have outstanding faculty. We have faculty members who have received PhD from some of the finest institutions. And these faculty members are actively engaged in cutting-edge research. Many of them are well-renowned researchers. And that research gets reflected in the curriculum design as well. What we teach our students is state-of-the-art stuff. And that really prepares them for industry and academia. Number two, I think that we have an excellent link with industry, both global and local industry. And this is reflected in the placement of our students. Our students get admitted into top global companies, as well as top universities. It's also reflected in the fact that we have active collaborations with top companies like Facebook, Google, Microsoft. And thirdly, I think we have an excellent set of facilities. We have some amazing research labs and research centers, such as the National Center for Big Data and Cloud Computing, the Energy Institute. We also house the National Incubation Center, which is the biggest platform for
entrepreneurial
ideas in the country. So I think these are some of the highlights of the program.
Dr. Suleman, I've heard that there are 2 tracks for the MS program in computer science. Can you tell us more about the highlights of this program?
So we prepare students for 2 different tracks. So people come to us for different reasons, and we don't want to box them. So we have a research track, which we call by thesis track, and we have an applied track in which we prepare you for the industry. In the research track, as Zafar rightly pointed out, that we have an excellent faculty with research groups and state-of-the-art research. And we're really pushing the boundaries here. So what we publish from LUMS actually is published in top-class places all over the world. So then students get a chance to work with the faculty on those very emerging topics. And then they're able to publish in state-of-the-art venues. And that helps them to sort of boost their skills, and it also prepares them for academia also, right? Mostly students who take the research track, they usually like to go to academia. And then on the other hand, we also have a very interesting industry track, which means that the courses you take prepare you for the industry, both in Pakistan and professional track and outside Pakistan and within Pakistan. And within Pakistan, we have partnerships with top companies, both in software industry, but also people are now ending up in FMCGs, in data science companies, in startups. They're also having their own startups. We're sitting here in National Incubation Center, and many of our students have ended up making their own companies and incubated through NIC and took the very interesting entrepreneurial route instead of going towards job route by industry. So I think both tracks are very valuable, and I think there is a fusion of also both tracks, right? So when you're taking the industry track, you still can do a research. And when you're doing your research, you can also do a lot of applied work. And both can also be combined and you can also have your own company. So I think LUMS CS program at a grad level offers you all 3 venues.
Dr. Zafar, when a student completes their undergraduate program in computer science, why should they continue their studies in computer science by pursuing a master's program?
So I think it's important to realize that how important computer science is and how profoundly it has impacted the society. And I think number 2, it is a discipline that is rapidly evolving, and it requires students to develop foundational understanding if they want to make an impact. And what a good high quality MS program can do is it can really strengthen your foundations. And that's what LUMS MS program does. We have a very broad based MS program where we make sure that your understanding of fundamental disciplines in computer science is revisited and strengthened. And that really enables you to do innovative work. And I think the things that we really stress in the program are things like problem solving, critical thinking, that are very important if you want to do innovative work.
And I think important चीज़ इसके अंदर ये भी है कि when we think about any MS program, but more importantly about LUMS computer science department's MS program, it not only helps you to get those fundamental rights, but also helps you to build a very strong building on the top of it, which means that once you understand the fundamentals, multiple tracks helps you to build on that. And then, as I said earlier, these tracks helps you to become either industry ready or academia ready, or maybe, helping your own company. So in this changing world, eventually you need to be upskilled. And if you need to be upskilled at a certain stage, you need to find a formal way of upskilling. And that formal way, can be found in our MS program.
And just to add to what Dr. Suleman said, our MS program has 3 specializations. So you can potentially specialize in machine learning and data science. You can take advanced courses in this area. You can specialize in systems and security. And you can also specialize in software engineering and human-computer interaction. So like he said, it also provides you the opportunity to go deep into specific areas, and then those opportunities can enable you to get better positions in industry or academia.
Both of you seem to be very passionate about your program, and the computer science department has gained a lot of credibility in international standings as well. How, Dr. Suleman, how did you gain this credibility? How did your whole department gain this credibility?
I think we certainly are one of the best departments in Pakistan, and I think we're doing very well when we compare ourselves in the region also and internationally also. With a small number of faculty, but very, very competent faculty. So I think there are multiple factors which play into, which are important to highlight here. First of all, as Dr. Zafar said, the faculty is very, very important. The way, the whole system supports that faculty to make sure that, we are able to produce high quality research. That high quality research is supported by grants. And we have both local grants, the top grants, National Center. For example, all the biggest grants which has been given to Pakistani universities, the Computer Science Department has had a chance to get those grants. Grand Challenge Fund, National Centers in Big Data Cloud Computing, National Center on Cybersecurity, all those centers, LUMS, Computer Science Department has a share in that. And also internationally, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Google, Meta, and many World Bank and many other organizations have funded our research that helps us to make sure that we are conducting state-of-the-art research, but also our students getting the opportunity to be a part of that research. And that really strengthens our portfolio, research portfolio. And that is also because the same faculty is going to teach, and they are bringing those insights in the curriculum, in the classroom discussions, and making sure that students understand कि जो दुनिया में हो रहा है वो उनको क्लास में पता हो, उस लेक्चर में पता हो. So I think the research, what happens in the class, what happens in the outside world, in the industry, all these things are connected, combined, and the faculty makes sure that this triangle is well addressed at every element and every chance.
Dr. Zafar, can we talk about more of the research initiatives your department has been taking?
Yes, so we have faculty members in all areas of computer science, and they're actively doing research. I can highlight a few research initiatives. So for instance, our faculty members are working on a very important problem of handling misinformation. And they're using machine learning to detect misinformation and to reduce the impact of misinformation. Then there's a larger theme of artificial intelligence for social good. And there are many interesting projects related to this, where we're seeing applications of AI machine learning in areas like agriculture, energy. We also have researchers who are working on internet security, on the design of large distributed systems. So there are many exciting cutting edge research projects that our faculty are conducting.
We can talk about the admission criteria now. So if you want to take admission into any of these programs, let's talk about the MS programs first. So for the MS programs, you need a basic 16 years of education. You also need to give the SIPASI specific subject test and the LGAT as well, if I'm right. You need letters of recommendation. You need to give an interview if you are shortlisted. And for the PhD program, you need 18 years of education. You need to give a research presentation as well as a research statement. And the interview is compulsory for the PhD program. When we talk about the presentation, does the presentation hold a lot of weightage in this whole process?
Yeah, it actually does, because that's the chance to show about who you are and what your motivation is and what your passion is for research. Because we know that research is very, very important, but you need to be passionate about it. And I think that presentation really helped us to understand कि आपको कितना शौक है रिसर्च करने का, और वो उसमें पैनल बैठता है, वो पैनल एवेलुएट करता है और हमको मौका देते हैं कि आप अपना पुराना थीसिस, आपको कोई पुरानी पब्लिकेशन या कोई ऐसी चीज़ जिस पर पहले काम कर चुके हैं, आप उसके बारे में बात कर सकें। मकसद ये है ये जानना कि आप प्रॉब्लम को कैसे समझते हैं, प्रॉब्लम को कैसे एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, प्रॉब्लम को कैसे डिफरेंट पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं, और उसके ज़रिए आप कैसे उसमें से रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस निकाल सकते हैं। अगर आप वो हमें समझा सकते हैं और हमें कन्विंस कर सकते हैं, आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी गुड सेलिंग पॉइंट। हमें कोई नई चीज़ नहीं चाहिए आपसे उस प्रेजेंटेशन के अंदर, हमें सिर्फ समझना ये है कि आपको पता है कि आप क्या चाहते हैं।
And if you are passionate enough to continue in a PhD program.
Of course, that's the starting point, and I think that's what the presentation helps a lot. So you need to come prepared in the presentation. You can sell your passion for research, and I think that helps a lot, because आपकी credentials एक तरफ हैं, पूरे का पूरा आपका portfolio एक तरफ है, but then on the top of it, that helps us to understand better. And दुनिया में हर जगह पे इस किस्म की presentations की बहुत value होती है, because you build this personal connection with the panel and you're able to sell in a much more systematic and passionate way, I would say.
Dr. Zafar, LUMS has more than 1,800 recruitment partners right now. And when we talk about employment prospects, for a student who has graduated from either the MS or the PhD computer science programs, what employment prospects do they have within Pakistan and outside of Pakistan?
So our students have multiple pathways that they can follow after graduation. So our students also get placements in leading global tech companies. As I mentioned, our students have got placements in companies like Apple, Facebook and Meta, Microsoft, HP. They also get hired in leading local companies like Systems Limited, Confis, Educative. Yes, exactly. And then some of our students plan to pursue PhD, and we have had many of our students get admitted into leading PhD programs like Purdue University, Georgia Tech, EPFL. So there are multiple pathways depending on what these students are interested in.
And I'll add here that some of our students who did PhD with us are now faculty members in Pakistan also, so that's also very important, that if you like academia and if you think, some of this, I've met people who love teaching also, they come to our MS program and they wanted to be a assistant professor, and then that MS program, then PhD program can lead towards a faculty position also, and you can be a very renowned faculty member also in Pakistan. That's another very, very important path which you can take. Other than that, I'll again emphasize that you can open your own companies, and this is extremely important. The startup culture in Pakistan needs those committed people who have the right foundation as well as the right mindset to think about the problem and solve the problem. And I think we prepare our master students for that. तो वो जब वो लोग स्टार्टअप में आते हैं तो उनके पास वो रिगर भी होता है, क्योंकि अक्सर लोग जो हमारे पास MS प्रोग्राम में आते हैं वो नौकरी करके आते हैं। जो आपने पहले बैचलर्स किया, अंडरग्रेड किया, आपने नौकरी की, आपको इंडस्ट्री की समझ आ गई, अब हमारे पास आए, आपको बहुत अच्छा पता चल गया कि यार मुझे ज़िंदगी में करना क्या है। जब आपको ये पता चल गया मुझे ज़िंदगी में करना क्या है, तो यूजुअली पता चलता है कि नौकरी भी नहीं करनी। जब नौकरी नहीं करनी तो करना क्या है, सो LUMS ऑफर्स यू दैट very interesting opportunity and network of people जिसको आप कैश कर सकते हैं. We have a business school here, we have a law school here, we have an incubation center here, and that's a right mix to make sure that your company is for success. And we have some excellent examples उन लोगों की जिन्होंने यहाँ से graduate किया और उसके बाद अपनी companies खोली. So we invite students to come to us if they think that मुझे academia में भी नहीं जाना, मुझे research भी नहीं करनी है, but मुझे अपना काम करना है. तो अपना काम भी बहुत ज़बरदस्त किया जा सकता है.
For example, a student from the engineering school can partner up with a student from the business school and open up a company of their own.
Absolutely, और उसकी वजह ये है कि जो हमारा कंप्यूटर साइंस का electives का सिस्टम वो सपोर्ट करता है ना. सो हमारे पास एक हमारा कोर है, आपने 4 या 6 कोर्स आपने लेने ही लेने हैं. राइट. उसके बाद आपके पास electives हैं. electives हमारे बाज़ दफ़ा क्रॉस लिस्टेड भी होते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल जो मैं कोर्स पढ़ाता हूँ HCI का, उसमें मेरे पास इस वक्त स्कूल ऑफ एजुकेशन के बच्चे भी हैं, बिज़नेस स्कूल के लोग भी हैं, उसमें मेरे पास HSS के लोग भी हैं जो हमारा सोशल साइंसेस का स्कूल है. अब उसमें अगर एक बंदे ने एक प्रोजेक्ट किया और उस प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर उसने बिज़नेस स्कूल के साथ और इंजीनियरिंग के साथ और लॉ स्कूल के बच्चे के साथ बैठ के काम किया है, उसमें से कंपनी बनाई है, सो नेचुरली द थॉट प्रोसेस इज़ गोइंग टू बी वेरी डिफरेंट. सो इंजीनियरिंग वाला अपनी इनपुट देगा, बाकी लोग अपनी इनपुट देंगे. सो आई थिंक लम्स का जो सिस्टम है वो आपको अलाउ करता है कि आप एज अ कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट यू कैन गो बियॉन्ड कंप्यूटर साइंस एंड गेन मच मोर दैन सिंपली कंप्यूटर साइंस, क्योंकि बाकी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में थोड़ा मुश्किल है बिकॉज वहाँ पे वो फ्रेमवर्क एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता.
जैसे मैंने आपको शुरू में बताया था बेसिकली कि universities are solely focused on the computer science program. They don't have this network of other students from other schools that can attend, that can help them out in these other facilities.
या फॉर एग्जांपल जफ़र साथ बैठे हैं, इनका बहुत सा काम ये ग्रुप का काम फैकल्टी ईकॉन के साथ भी, इकोनॉमिक्स के साथ भी है, लॉ के साथ भी है, ये भी है, सो यू कैन ऑल्सो रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन दैट कि इनके अपने ग्रुप के अंदर क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है उन लोगों की जो कि हार्डकोर CS से नहीं है, और एंड दे ड्राइव द रिसर्च ऑल्सो. सो आई थिंक दीज आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स.
मैं इसमें ऐड करूँगा कि आई थिंक जो कल्चर है ना वो बहुत ही इंक्लूसिव है लम्स के अंदर, जिसमें इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी काम को बहुत वैल्यू किया जाता है कि हम अक्रॉस डिपार्टमेंट्स, अक्रॉस स्कूल्स कोलैबोरेट करें. और इस कल्चर के बारे में मैं एक और चीज़ ये कहूँगा कि वी हैव अ वेरी डाइवर्स स्टूडेंट बॉडी, और विच आर स्टूडेंट्स कमिंग फ्रॉम डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड्स, डिफरेंट इनकम बैकग्राउंड्स एज वेल, और ये कल्चर जो है ये सपोर्ट करता है सबको.
What is your ideal profile for a student who comes into this program?
So for MS, we have a subject test that the students have to take, but there are no restrictions that you must have completed a bachelor's in computer science. अगर आपने एक bachelor's economics में किया है, फिर भी आप आ सकते हैं MS प्रोग्राम में. हमारे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो कि डिफरेंट डिसिप्लिन से उन्होंने बैचलर्स किया इकोनॉमिक्स से, और उन्होंने आके कंप्यूटर साइंस किया. दी ओनली रिक्वायरमेंट इज़ कि एक सब्जेक्ट टेस्ट है जो कि आपकी बुनियादी अंडरस्टैंडिंग चेक करता है ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस कॉन्सेप्ट्स, वो आप क्लियर कर लें, then you can join the program.
Dr. Suleman, when we talk about funding for these programs, such as the MS program, we have our merit scholarships, we have our LUMS interest-free loans, and for our PhD, it is fully funded by LUMS. You can also become a research assistant in LUMS. Can you tell us more about how you can become a research assistant and self-finance yourself?
बिल्कुल जी. सबसे पहले बात तो ये कि इट्स फुली फंडेड. There are avenues जो कि आपको LUMS प्रोवाइड करता है, but then within CS department you have also multiple avenues. The interesting avenue is that certain faculty members would have funding and they can offer you RShip, right? For research assistantship की जो cost है, वो जो range है वो vary करती है, but there are almost every faculty member has a different kind of a grant जिसकी वजह से आपको पैसे मिल सकते हैं और आप it can support your studies. Second चीज़ ये है कि if you're in PhD, that stipend can be extended. If you're doing your masters also, some of the students are already working, so they get a chance to take the class and then still be a part of the industry. And some of them really rely on the RShips which we offer, and most of the faculty members do offer those RShips. So ये तो systematic तरीका है कि आपके पास stipend है PhD का, और उसके ऊपर हम आपको extra ग्रांट्स के ज़रिए टॉप अप कर देते हैं. वो वेरी करता है फैकल्टी टू फैकल्टी, वो वेरी करता है सिनेरियो टू सिनेरियो, वो कंफर्म नहीं करते हम, बट व्हेन यू बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ द सिस्टम देयर आर मल्टीपल चांसेस टू एक्सप्लोर, एंड वी encourage you to explore those chances, and you get to know these things very quickly from your supervisor also.
Dr. Zafar, you also told us that we can complete our MS program in computer sciences part-time. Is that possible for us?
जी बिल्कुल, this is possible. We give our students two options. They can enroll as full-time students, जिसमें वो 2 साल में उनको अपनी डिग्री कंप्लीट करनी होती है, और अगर वो काम कर रहे हैं तो they can also enroll as part-time students, जिसमें they are required to complete their degree in 4 years. They can take less credits, and there are many of our students who work in industry and take up the part-time option.
Dr. Suleman, can you tell us more about the value of this program? What will have in the future?
So I think very valuable, to put it to it straight. देखें, we are living in a changing world, and that changing world require upskilling and reskilling. We're preparing for students for the jobs we don't even know कि वो exist करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे, और कैसी होंगी, उनकी shape क्या होगी. 1 साल के अंदर generative AI ने पूरी दुनिया को change कर दी है. And LUMS is one of the first ones to offer a course on generative AI also, and LLB also, right? So idea is that whatever happens is also reflected in the curriculum. As a side note, I wanted to highlight it. देखिए, so the people who are in the industry at a certain stage, they would require to upskill themselves. उनके पास यूजली दो चांस होते हैं, या वो फॉर्मल राउट लेंगे या इनफॉर्मल राउट लेंगे. इनफॉर्मल राउट ये लेंगे कि लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग के ज़रिए कोर्सेज कर लेंगे. पाकिस्तान के अंदर अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ बहुत लिमिटेड है, राइट. तो आपको यूजली फॉर्मल राउट ही लेना पड़ता है. उसका फॉर्मल राउट का मतलब ये है कि यार आई हैव डन इनफ, नाउ आई नीड टू गो टू स्टेज 2 ऑफ माई करियर, हाउ डू आई डू गो अबाउट इट. उस पर जाने के लिए एन MS प्रोग्राम कैन बी वेरी वेरी हेल्पफुल. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट कैन helps your fundamentals, but also prepare you for the very difficult times जो आने वाले होते हैं. So जो हमारा MS प्रोग्राम है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उसकी जो चेंजिंग टाइम की जो पल्स उस पर हाथ है, राइट. सो वी आर लुकिंग एट इट कि यार कल क्या होने वाला है और आज क्या हो रहा है, इसको हमने हर हफ्ते ये सोच के अपने करिकुलम में कैसे रिफ्लेक्ट करना है. तो I think we understand how the future is looking around, and then we need to sort of make sure, and we also make sure that हम उसको जवाब दे सकें. सेकेंड चीज़ ये हमारी रिसर्च भी उसको रिफ्लेक्ट करती है, और तीसरी चीज़ ये है कि हमारा जो इंडस्ट्री से कनेक्शन है वो हमें फीडबैक देता है कि अब आपने कैसी चीज़ों को रिफ्लेक्ट करना है. तो इन चीज़ों को देख के हमें लगता है ये है कि हमारा जो फ्यूचर का प्रोग्राम है, वो जो इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में अपस्किलिंग चाहिए, रीस्किलिंग चाहिए एट ग्रेड लेवल के ऊपर, वो आपको एक ज़बरदस्त अपॉर्चुनिटी देता है, क्योंकि उसकी वजह से आप बाउंड्रीज को पुश कर सकते हैं, राइट. एंड देन यू मेक योर सेल्फ रेलिवेंट फॉर द इंटरनेशनल मार्केट ऑल्सो, क्योंकि अगर आपने फ्रीलांसिंग भी करनी है और आपने अपने आपको इंटरनेशनल एम्प्लॉयबल भी करना है, तो आपकी फंडामेंटल्स ठीक होंगे तो आगे चल सकता है, ठीक है. और हमारा प्रोग्राम उसके लिए आपको तैयार करता है.
Before we end off this podcast, Dr. Zafar, if you would have any advice for those students who are hesitant to choose this MS program in computer science, can you please tell these students yourself?
The MS program at LUMS offers an amazing opportunity कि आप अपने आप पे इन्वेस्ट करें. ये एक ऐसा प्रोग्राम है which is led by an amazing set of faculty members, और बहुत सारी बेहतरीन अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं जो आपको प्रोवाइड करता है. और जिस स्टेज पे भी आप हों, बेशक आप काम कर रहे हैं या अभी अंडर ग्रेड किया है, CS एक ऐसी फील्ड है जिस पे आप अगर अपने आप पे इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, अपनी लर्निंग पे इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, तो जैसे डॉक्टर सुलेमान ने कहा कि जो आइंदा आने वाला वक्त है जिसमें आपको रिक्वायर्ड होगा कि आपको नई नई चीज़ें सीखनी होंगी, और तो ये प्रोग्राम आपको तैयार कर सकता है उस आइंदा टाइम्स के लिए. एंड आई थिंक दिस वुड बी अ वेरी गुड इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑन योर सेल्फ.
एंड आई विल ऐड हियर दैट हम अक्सर कहते हैं कि आप जो फ्यूचर का स्किल सेट है वो ये है कि आपने सीखना कैसे सीखना है. सीखना सीखें जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है. लर्निंग हाउ टू लर्न, आई थिंक वो जो लर्निंग हाउ टू लर्न का फ्रेमवर्क है, एक तो ये है कि जनरली लर्निंग कैसे होती है, और एक फ्रेमवर्क ये है कि किसी स्पेसिफिक सब्जेक्ट में लर्निंग कैसे होती है. आप ये कैसे जान सकें कि मैं हमेशा कभी ना कभी हमेशा कोई ना कोई नई चीज़ सीख सकता हूँ. आई थिंक जो हमारा प्रोग्राम है वो आपको वो माइंडसेट दे सकता है, वो इक्विप कर सकता है उस माइंडसेट के साथ, जिसके ज़रिए आप सोच सकते हैं कि यार अच्छा मुझे वो तरीका आ गया सीखने का, सो जब भी दुनिया चेंज होगी मैं उस प्रोसेस को इस्तेमाल करके अडाप्ट कर लूँगा अपने आप को. तो आई थिंक वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि हम आपको विद ऑल द स्किल्स विच आर रिक्वायर्ड लर्निंग हाउ टू लर्न, आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट. सो दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
मैं ऐड करूँगा डॉक्टर सुलेमान की बात में कि ये जो स्किल है ये हमारी हर कोर्स में जो है ना आपको एक्सपीरियंस करने का मौका मिलेगा कि जो मेटा स्किल है कि हाउ टू लर्न, उस पे एम्फेसिस है हमारे फैकल्टी मेंबर्स का. इस वजह से आपकी बुनियादी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स, आपकी क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस की स्किल्स जो हैं वो बड़ी शार्पन होंगी. और ये इस तरीके से होता है कि हम क्वेश्चनिंग बहुत इंकरेज करते हैं. अगर आप हमारी क्लासेस अटेंड करेंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि स्टूडेंट्स कितने क्वेश्चंस कर रहे होते हैं. जो चीज़ हम कह रहे हैं हर चीज़ पे दे आर अलाउड टू क्वेश्चन. तो वो एक ऐसी इन्वायरमेंट क्रिएट करता है जिसमें इस तरह की लर्निंग जो है वो हो सकती है.
ज़फ़र, आपके दिमाग में कोई ऐसे नाम आते हैं कंपनीज़ के जो हमारी सक्सेस स्टोरीज़ हों? बिकॉज़ हमारा फोकस पिछले 4-5 साल से काफ़ी ज़्यादा ही रहा है, काफ़ी अर्सा से रहा है ये कि हम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पे फोकस कर सकें, लोगों को कह सकें कि यार अपनी कंपनीज़ की तरफ जाएँ.
बिल्कुल, मेरे माइंड में फॉर इंस्टेंस पार्क व्हील्स आती है, फाउंडेड बाय लम्स स्टूडेंट. मेरे जहन में कॉन्फिज आती है. उसके अलावा RB Soft, फाउंडेड बाय लम्स अंडर ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट.
एंड ऑल्सो मैनी अदर कंपनीज. अभी हमारे पिछले 3-4 साल के अंदर NIC के अंदर भी काफ़ी स्टार्टअप्स हैं जो हमारे MS स्टूडेंट्स ने स्टार्ट की हैं. आई एक्चुअली नो स्कूल ऑफ एजुकेशन एंड कंप्यूटर साइंस के स्टूडेंट्स ने मिल के 2 स्टार्टअप्स बनाए हैं. सो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ ये भी है कि CS के स्टूडेंट्स अपनी इंजीनियरिंग एंड कंप्यूटर साइंस के स्किल्स ला रहे थे, एजुकेशन स्कूल के स्टूडेंट्स जो थे अपना पेडागोजी एंड एजुकेशन के स्किल्स ला रहे थे, दे फॉर्म द कंपनी एंड दे आल्सो स्टार्टेड कपल ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स। सो आई थिंक ये वाला फोकस जो था वो लम्स का काफ़ी अर्सा से रहा है और CS डिपार्टमेंट्स को काफ़ी स्ट्रेंथन भी किया है।
Thank you so much, Dr. Suleman and Dr. Zafar. And if you want to study under these dedicated faculty members, you can apply now on our LUMS website. All of the process is online. The admission deadline for our MS and PhD programs is the 16th of April. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for listening
Thank you very
on
much.
this
बहुत शुक्रिया
podcast.
आपका।
I will be seeing you in the next podcast.